Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Jeff Culbert, Schooley's Mountain Chiropractic Center, your leader in alternative healthcare, where literally your health is in our hands. You know, today is Saturday, it's March 2nd, and obviously it's a little bit of a kickback day. We're not seeing patients today, so you can see I'm very casually dressed, not in my normal Tuesday purples. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about a subject that is near and dear to my heart, and it is an offshoot of what we do in chiropractic. And it is one of the reasons why we have coupled with the 100-year lifestyle. And if you take a look at our website now, you will see that we've co-branded with the 100-year lifestyle. One of the statistics that has come out over the last couple of months, last couple of years, is the fact that currently in the United States, we have more people aging and reaching 100 years and beyond than we have ever had in the course of our history of a nation. The saddest statistic, though, is that while we did reach a maximum life expectancy of 79 years back in the early 2000s, since then, our life expectancy has gone backwards. Life expectancy now in the United States is somewhere around 76.23 years old. So we have literally lost almost 3 years of life expectancy, while a number of our seniors are reaching 100 and beyond. So the sad part of that statistic, or those statistics, is that we are literally killing off our younger generation. And there's numerous reasons for why we are killing off our younger generations. And I can go through a list of them right now for you. The first thing is, one, medical mistakes. Medical mistakes in this country, on average, take 438,000 lives each year. That's statistically about 1,200 people a day are dying, which basically means it's 50 people an hour, or basically almost one person every minute is passing away because of a medical mistake. That's appalling. The next statistic that I can throw out there to you is the number of overdoses that are taking our young people. The number of overdoses that are occurring a year right now stand at just under 97,000 people a year. And what are they passing away from? The largest portion of that is opiate and opiate fentanyl related overdoses. Okay, it accounts for almost 80% of all overdoses. You break that statistic down, there's roughly 265 people every single day passing away because of opiate and fentanyl overdoses. Again, a statistic that is appalling. The number of teenage suicides that is up because of social media and anxiety and overabundance of stress that is going on in our life. The number of veterans that are committing suicide every day at 22. It's just amazing what is happening that is decimating our younger generation. And part of that is because of what is known as generational stress. And generational stress was brought out in a Time magazine article back almost 30 years ago. And what that concept is saying is that people that are more senior oriented, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, to a degree myself now at 64 years old, okay, we've had a lifetime of accumulating stress slow enough that our bodies and our minds have adapted and accommodated to the stress that has been put on our lives. We can manage it a whole lot better. It was given to us slowly so that over time we're able to adapt and accommodate to it. We also grew up in a generation where we were not connected 24/7. So we had downtime and rest time, that we were disconnected from everything. We didn't have social media. We didn't have news 24/7. We didn't have the ability to text and call friends throughout the entire course of the day. So we had downtime. You know, so generational stress says kids as little as 9 and 10 years old, in their short lifetime of 9 to 10 years, have accumulated as much stress in their life as their parents have. And let's say those parents now, well, they have a 9 and a 10-year-old, are probably in the vicinity of 35, 40, 45 years old. Okay? So they've had 45 years or 40 years to adapt and accommodate to a certain stress level. And the grandparents, let's say those are the people that are in their 70, 75, 80-year-old range, have had even a longer period of time to adapt to it. So grandparents, parents, and children, 9 and 10 years old, have the same amount of stress. So if you're asking a 9 and a 10-year-old to adapt and accommodate to 80 years of stress accumulation, they literally can't do it. They're frustrated. They have anxiety. What do they start to turn to? Unless a parent is cognitively making sure of maintaining that child's great self-esteem, what's going to end up happening is that child is going to start to turn to things. They're going to turn to peers for approval, turn to not only peers, but they're going to start to turn to things like alcohol and drugs, whether they're gateway or not. They're going to start to turn to things that are going to alter their state of being, how they cognitively see themselves and see the world. It's mind altering, yes. And it's not safe and it's not good. I don't care what any of the experts say. Marijuana is not a gateway drug. It's an addictive drug that gets you going on to more stuff. Alcohol moves you on to more stuff, okay? So let's get that part of the conversation out of it. They're altering their state of being. And when they can no longer alter their state of being by numbing their brains, they're going to turn to taking their lives and committing suicide. They're going to overdose. So whatever is going on, we are decreasing our longevity. And so I'm here today to tell you that there's a better way. And in life, you're going to have to make some hard choices. Being healthy is hard. Being sick is hard. Taking control of your own thoughts and giving yourself a mental direction is hard. Following the pack and being a lemming is hard. So the bottom line is, if you want to live to be 100 and older, as our older generation is, in the Bible, Genesis chapter 6 says, we are given 120 years by the Lord. Take a look at the person who has lived the longest in your family and try to figure out, based on where you are now, what's the likelihood? If they live to 100 or 105 or 110, there's a good chance your genes have the capability, if they're put in the right environment, for you to be able to do the same thing. So in my family, I have a family member. We called her Chachi, Polish word, I'm assuming, that means aunt. And so Chachi ended up living to be 101 years old when she passed away. God love her. She was mentally sharp. She knew everything about everybody. She read the newspaper every day. She generally read 2 to 3 books a week. She was sharp as a tack. She was Polish, but she had red hair, and if you ever saw her smile and laugh, you could see the glint of an Irish twinkle in her eye. And she married an Irishman, so I don't know if that was inherited through her husband, but she knew how to love and enjoy life. She was loved by her family. She was loved by her friends. She did everything that is right in terms of a longevity lifestyle. She exercised. She ate really, really well. She got her rest. She was surrounded by people who loved her and that she loved. She gave to her community. When she passed away at 101 years old, and the mayor of the town and people that she knew came out and listed all of the things that this woman had done for their community up in Connecticut, I was blown away with how involved she was. She's God-fearing. She went to church all the time. She was a woman of faith. And she just had it all together. Everything that you can do to live to be 100 and beyond, she did. So I have a commitment. I would love to live one day longer than she did. I have a patient. Okay, he passed away in 2005 in February because of pneumonia. He lived to be 104 and a half. His mom passed away at 101. His grandfather lived to be 103. It's very rare that you have centenarians running generations in families. I want to set that trend for my family. If Chachi, okay, my mom's aunt, could live to be 101. My mom and dad are currently in their late 80s, pushing early 90s. They have the potential. My dad has had a family member that lived to be 98. Obviously, Chachi at 100. Grandparents of hers, or parents of hers, lived to be 94, okay, and my grandfather's side 93. So the potential for long-lasting genes, given the environment is correct, is there for me, there for my kids, and then for my grandchildren. So it comes down to you got to start thinking about doing things a little bit differently. During COVID, when COVID hit, I got hit with a number of maladies. Started with AFib in 2020, followed by liver enzymes, followed by prostate, followed back into AFib and A-flutter, ended up with a cardiac ablation, ended up with prostate problems that were going on, bleeding into my urine due to prostatitis. Liver enzymes came back and went crazy, ended up having a shoulder replacement, ended up with COVID twice, ended up with long COVID so that I couldn't breathe. So going through all of this craziness, it was incumbent that obviously something has got me. I'm a physically fit, very, very healthy guy up until the age of 60, and then COVID hit. Rocked my world, rocked the world of numerous of us. So I ended up starting to think, what do I need to add into the arsenal of things that I do? I get adjusted every week, get massaged every month. I'm impeccable with my nutritional support and my supplements that I'm taking. My diet is pretty clean. So I had a friend who suggested that I start to participate in an anti-aging program. So every year now I go and I travel down to Florida and I see a gentleman who specializes in anti-aging. So this is the third year now that I've been involved with this. And to give you some of the statistics that's going on with me, I am 64 this year, but I have the body that functions as a 38-year-old. That's pretty phenomenal. It means whatever I am doing between my lifestyle, my chiropractic care, my supplementation, my sleep program, my exercise program, my faith program, getting along with peers, mentoring people, it is working because at 64, okay, I'm literally functioning at somebody almost half my age. Some of the things that we ran through this past time was they measured my grip strength. Grip strength, who knew, is a very accurate predictor of longevity. The greater your grip strength, also not only is it a factor for longevity, but it is also a factor for how well you are going to stave off diseases, especially diseases of the aging, such as Alzheimer's and cancer. So at 64, my grip strength in my dominant arm is 130 and my non-dominant arm is 117, and that is far stronger than the average person at my age, which should be having a grip strength of somewhere between 96 and 105. So grip strength, past that one. A whole slew of blood work that gets done on an annual basis. Everything is impeccable. Also make sure I'm tweaking my diet with giving me a printed recommendation of the various foods that I should be having in terms of the proteins, the fishes, the poultry, the nuts, the seeds, the spices, and it breaks down what are the higher glycemic foods, the middle glycemic foods, and the low glycemic foods that I should be monitoring so that I keep my blood sugar as low and in range as possible. They also do a full scan of my carotid arteries, my aorta, and my thyroid to make sure those are all functioning properly. That was done. They do a bone density test now, and I haven't had a bone density test since I was 45, but at 64, I'm maintaining 98% of my bone density. So at 64, I'm showing no signs of osteoporosis, osteopenia. My bones are solid and strong. I would like to think that is because I have adopted a lifestyle that includes exercise, not only that is cardiovascularly fit, but I'm also training every day, whether it's with exercise bands, the cables, the stretchy bands, or now I've included body weight exercises. And unfortunately, because of the shoulder replacement, the orthopedic surgeon has restricted my shoulder to really lifting no more than 25 pounds. So whatever I'm doing it as well as I can with what I call plates and weights. They also ran a cognitive test. At 64 years old, there's no sign of any mental deterioration, high average, okay, in terms of that. The last thing they do is they make sure that they're optimizing my blood pressures, that everything is looking well there. And my blood pressure for 64 is maintained at 120/72. As you age, believe it or not, it is okay that your blood pressure goes up. At 65 and older, a blood pressure of 140, 145/90, 95 is completely fine. The problem is most of the standards now with Medicare asks that anybody that is over 120 over 80 must be put on medication by their doctor. So if you're somebody who's running 130, 135, 40, 45, 50 over anywhere from 85, 90, 95, believe me, you have really no blood pressure risk or stroke risk. Going on a medication is generally not where you need to be. If you want to try to improve your lifestyle, then I would recommend diet and exercise as a first front, and see what you can do with that before you go on any long-term medication, because all medication has side effects. And the average person over 65 is on 5 to 9 medications. Those side effects are not 5 different reactions that occur, 9 different reactions that can occur. It goes up exponentially. So if you're on 5 different medications, you are going to be hit with 5 to the 5th possible number of reactions, and that's going to be possibly 125 different chemical reactions that can occur within your body. So to try to stay off of as many medications as you can as you get older is generally the way you want to go. So again, it comes down to choosing your hard, and this has been one of my favorite sayings. Living a healthy lifestyle is hard. Living on medication is hard. You get to choose your hard. For me, at 64, I'm choosing to try to stay off of medications, and if I need to go on to something, it's short-termed. I know when and why and how it's going into my system. I know what needs to be monitored, and I know when to get off the medication, so it's not something that is long-term, part of lifestyle, but is something to take care of something short and sweet. Such as when I developed long COVID, I ended up getting a cytokine 14 test. It is a relatively newer test that they use for diagnosing long COVID. So if you're having symptoms post-COVID that are lasting long-term, you may want to go out and find out what's going on in terms of a long COVID score. And if you need some medication to kill the inflammation that is a result of the long COVID, then I would highly recommend working with your doctor. I did. When I was diagnosed with the long COVID, I went on to 2 different medications. One was atorvastatin, which is a statin to lower your cholesterol level, and I went on to Maravik, which is an HIV medication. Now, I don't have high cholesterol, and I certainly don't have HIV, but the things that these medications also do, their job is to kill inflammation. So with the long COVID, I couldn't breathe because of the inflammation in the pleura of the lungs, the lining that covers the lungs. I couldn't expand my lungs enough to get air in when I was exercising. Who knew one of the worst things you could do with long COVID, especially when it's affecting your lungs, is try to force a workout. Because again, your lungs can't expand because the pleura is constricting. Now, what ended up happening is I went on these 2 medications. They were designed to reduce my level of inflammation. From March until October, I was on the medications. October, I reran the long COVID test. My score went from a 13.5 to a 0.3, and anything from 0 to 0.7 means you have no long COVID. Anything from 0.7 to 20, you are in the long COVID range. So once I was below 0.7, those medications went bye-bye. Okay, I took them for a reason, for a period of time. When my testing said long COVID is over, then boom. Now the problem is with COVID, we really have no idea what are the long-term side effects for it. So again, sometime this year, I'm figuring around June, mid-year, I'm going to be retested with the cytokine panel 14 testing to see if by any chance the long COVID has started to want to come back. If it's harboring there, kind of like the chickenpox virus that comes back as shingles, I want to know if those numbers are starting to creep up again. I'm going to take care of it right away. But monitoring to see what's going on with the values in my system dictates whether I take a medication or not. Otherwise, I am working with a chiropractic nutritionist, because that's all he does, to bring down the rest of it and make sure I'm functioning at a level that when I'm off the meds, my body doesn't react. So at this stage of the game, I'm back to being fully engaged. I've got great lung capacity, my strength is back, my mental clarity is back. So whatever the long COVID did seems to be gone. I want to make sure it's gone and gone forever. The other thing that they do is optimize what is going on my daily nutritional things. One of the things that showed up was a small nodule on my thyroid, and that while my thyroid is functioning the way it should be, the thyroid stimulating hormone is slightly high. So with that, we're adding in some iodine and some selenium into my diet to make sure that's all done. So what's going on is I am now working with an anti-aging doctor who happens to specialize in neurology to make sure I am optimizing the levels of everything that goes on in my body, everything that I put in my body, so that my internal environment and my external environment are able to coexist, so that I can be more guaranteed that my body is going to make it to 100 and beyond, and I'm going to be as cognitively sharp as my great aunt Chuchi was when she was 101. Now, a couple of years ago, there was a woman that had done an interview. She happens to be the oldest woman on the planet at the time. I don't know if she's still alive. I haven't taken the time to check to see if she is. She's from France. She's 122 and a half years old. During the interview, she commented that I was smoking up to 117, and she was drinking until she was 120. And she said her life longevity had little to do with her lifestyle, but had everything to do with her attitude. And she was quoted that every morning she would wake up laughing, every evening she would go to bed laughing. And it was her job to try to laugh as often as she could in between the two times. Now, there's an age-old saying out there that says laughter is the best medicine. So again, today's talk is generally about what are the things that you can do to notice, are you living a lifestyle that's going to get you to be 100 and beyond, or are you living a lifestyle that's going to cut years off of your life? And if you're living a lifestyle that's going to cut years off of your life, I would implore you to make some changes. Make some changes in terms of getting regular exercise. Regular aerobic exercise is one of the best ways that you can maintain not only cardiovascular fitness and fitness within your muscles and your joints, but it is also one of the best ways to ensure not only neuroplasticity, but neurogenesis, new nerve connections in your brain, staving off cognitive failure and the onset of Alzheimer's and senility. So be aerobically active. Maintain some form of level of muscle building. Muscle building is phenomenal. When I did my body fat analysis with these guys, I'm maintaining a 7.1% body fat. I'm 194 pounds at 6'1", and I maintain 103 pounds of skeletal muscle, which puts me in the 53 percentile, which is basically unheard of for somebody my age. My muscle strength is good, my bone density is great, my cognitive function as well. For somebody at 64, and they say after 40, you're going to be losing 10% of your muscle mass every decade. That has not happened. It's because of the lifestyle I choose to live. Yes, being lazy and gaining weight and losing mass and slowing down your metabolism as you age is hard. Maintaining it by working out every single day, and over the age of 50, an hour a day of exercise maintains your shape. So if you're looking to change how you look and how your body is functioning, plan on 6 months to a year before you're going to notice major changes. And over the age of 50, you've got to be working out 90 minutes to 2 hours a day. Sorry guys, but that's statistically and scientifically proven to change your body. So I'm on the treadmill working out, mile on, exercises off, for at least 90 minutes to 2 hours every day. And I get up early, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm hitting the treadmill, 7 o'clock I'm winding down, breakfast, nutritional supplementation, prayers, affirmations. You know, we talked about the Hour of Power a couple of tapings ago. You can pick that up at any point in time and say, hold it. If he's doing an hour of power and it's 2 hours of power every morning, there's no reason why I can't do it. It's a matter of carving things out in small chunk-sized pieces and just making it new normals and new part of your daily routine. So make sure you're carving out time to get your exercise in. Eat well. Have a balanced diet. Lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. It gives you the nutritional support plus the water that your body needs so that you can build upon it. Get great amount of sleep, quality and quantity. Consistency is best. Recently, I've been watching podcasts while I'm working out. It's the consistency of your sleep pattern, not the length of your sleep pattern. So getting up at the same time every day sets your circadian rhythm with the clock. Okay, going to bed at the same time every day helps a routine of normalcy and regularity. And turning off all the lights, getting the screens shut off, turning off the clock, spinning it around so that you're not constantly moving to look to see what time it is. Watch your posture. Good posture produces endorphins and cephalons. Manage your thoughts. Negative thoughts every day bombard us. Affirmations, positive self-talk, meditation is a way to stave that off. Get adjusted regularly. Be consistent with some form of faith, and make sure you're getting along with your peers. And always, as Tough Mudder teaches us when I'm doing my obstacle course races, always be looking out for the other guy that's there behind you. If you need a hand getting over an obstacle or a difficulty in your life, have somebody push you over that. And yet if you notice somebody else is having some difficulty, reach out a hand and pull them along or push them along. It will make you feel tremendously well knowing that you are helping another human being adapt and cope to the trials in life, thereby trying to keep their distress levels down and their eustress levels up. So this has been a long talk about longevity. What are the things that you can do? Some of the things that I do to maintain health and fitness, especially coming through COVID at this stage of the game. I praise and thank the Lord every day that I am back to where I was pre-COVID. Just as you know, I've talked in other videos and I've shared little clips in shorts of myself doing Spartan races. I did a full complement of Spartan races last year in terms of a couple of stadium races, a couple of sprints, one super, one beast. This year I'm looking to duplicate, again, a couple of sprints, a couple of stadium races, at least a super, at least a beast, and this year I am going to make the attempt of an ultra, a 30-miler, as well as I've started to attract patients who are into obstacle course racing. I'm signing up for a Bone Frog in June, and I'm going to be doing a Tough Mudder in Pennsylvania with a couple of patients, and then I'm running the Tunnel to Tower in late September as well. So be physically active, do it with friends, and have a lot of fun. If there's anything that you saw in this video that you think you can adapt into your lifestyle, don't try to be overwhelmed and do all at once. Pick one thing, get into the habit of doing it real well, and then add in the next, and then the next, and then the next. And if you added in one thing a month and made 12 changes over the course of the year, it would significantly impact your lifestyle and also impact the lifestyle of those that you are around. If you are a grandparent and you have a goal of playing with your grandchildren and at this stage of the game you can't, taking care of your diet, getting into better exercises, monitoring your sleep patterns so you're more well rested, maintaining your posture, just getting up and doing something, getting adjusted, consulting an anti-aging doctor, consulting a nutritionist, seeing a massage therapist, getting some of those knots and those kinks and some of those stiff joints loose and mobile again. All little things that you can do. Maintain your attitude, and like I said, get adjusted, because the concept of chiropractic is that we're not adjusting you to manage a pain. We are adjusting you so that you manage your nervous system, because it is the nerves of the body that control and coordinate everything that goes on in your body, with the ability for you to adapt and accommodate to the changes that are going on in your environment constantly. If you can adapt and you can change, you're going to be thriving. If you fail to adapt and change, you're going to be in a state of disharmony. Disharmony will lead to dis-ease, lead to death. And through this talk, we've been talking about extending lifestyle and longevity versus the decreasing trend that tends to be what's going on in our society today. So if you've seen anything that you like, please incorporate it. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and please share this video with other people that you think would benefit from concepts of aging gracefully and longer, because chiropractic doesn't necessarily add years to your life, but it will add life to the years that you have. So this is Dr. Jeff Culbert from Schooley's Mountain Chiropractic Center saying, visit our website, smcc4u.com, share and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will talk to you and see you in another video. Schooley's Mountain Chiropractic Center is your leader in alternative healthcare, and your health is in our hands.